You are going to hear a lecturer discussing a project with 3 of his students, Justice, Ash, and Richard. Take some time to look at questions 21 to 30. Now answer questions 21 to 30.
So, and I was reading your reflections, and I was struck by the comment. All of you basically say that you felt like you learned a lot from this assignment.
Yeah, we definitely did.
So, like, if you had to break it down, like, how much of the assignment do you think spent really working on the math and working on the presentation? Like, which was more time intensive for you?
I think, like, just thinking about it now, I'd say the working on the video itself was the most time intensive, but most of the thought went into, like, doing the math.
Okay.
Like, easily, I probably put, like, 40 hours into the video editing altogether, but that was 40 hours of mindless, like, click, math. It was, like, even though it might not have been as long, in my mind, they kind of scaled to be the same.
Okay. So if I'm hearing you right, you're saying that the video was more time consuming, but the math part was the harder part?
Yeah.
Okay. You all say in your reflection, all of you say that you did choose topics that were not your strength. Is that still true? Are those issues still your weak points? Or like part of the purpose of the assignment is kind of to turn weaknesses into strengths. Did that happen for you?
Basically what happened, I took a unit that I particularly wasn't so good in, and now that I've done it, I understand it a lot more, so when we do have to do it, I can have confidence in doing it, no problem.
Okay. Was that the same feeling you had, Justice?
Yeah, I felt like, I don't think that they're still like my best, but I definitely understand a lot more aspects of them, and I see them in a new light. So like, they might not be my best stuff still, but it's definitely not my worst anymore, and I see them a lot better.
And what about you, Rich?
Pretty much took my whole answer.
Okay, so now all of you say in the reflection that you got value out of doing this assignment. So as I'm planning for next year, my question, of course, is like, is this something I should do again? Like, in your opinion, is this a worthwhile learning experience?
Well, no,
I think it definitely is.
It's definitely helpful.
Yeah, like we started a little bit late.
Yeah, we started planning about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Well, we were probably planning more like a month and a half, but we didn't start really working on it until about 3 weeks ago, and even so that was like here and there. And then within the last 2 weeks, it was like every day, like 5 hours. Yeah, we definitely underestimated how long it would take to do everything.
I guess the last thing I wanted to ask you is, I heard you guys say that you got a lot out of the assignment, that you would recommend it to students in the future, you recommend that I do it again. Was it valuable to you in other ways besides mathematics?
Organization skills and teamwork.
Organization skills and teamwork.
Because we had to set out like a timeline to kind of make sure we got everything done. You have to do it like step by step. So we kind of sorted out a timeline in the beginning, and it didn't really get stuck too well. It was very loose. So like it definitely helped with that, because we were like, okay, from now on, timelines, deadlines.
We'll actually make our deadlines like earlier than what the actual deadline is, just so that
You're
actually get it done. Yeah.
Because, I mean, the last thing I wanted to ask was, like, how do we make this better? Like, what advice would you give to me, or perhaps to future students, or even your future selves, for example? I should have students submit a timeline.
Yeah, personally, I think that would definitely be helpful.
That would work.
Yeah.
Either that, or like saying that they need to set a final deadline for the whole thing and a deadline for the questions, because I think that's what messed us up the most, is that having to do the questions and the video editing. So like if you say in 2 weeks have your questions finished, then they can devote the rest of the time to presentation and creativity. And
So we're going to have students submitting a timeline. Well, guys, we'll stop there. That really was the last question.
This is the end of section 3.